back to the Diabetic Diet Show. Today's show is going to be glazed pork with peanut butter noodles and Italian bread with a honey butter. It's going to be a really good show, so let's get started. I start out with the ingredients and the pasta. I have the water boiling for the pasta, and that always takes the longest. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm by myself today, so I only do one hand of noodles. Also, I have the pork roast in the oven. And you can cook it however you want. If you have some kind of instant cooker, a New Wave, or just a conventional oven, just remember this. When you're done with a pork roast, it has to be 160 to 170. So you have to check it with a thermometer, make sure that it's cooked. So I have those going, set that aside. Now on top of the glaze for the pork, I'm going to use a vinegar, which is a balsamic, and honey. Also, for the bread, I'm putting butter on the bread and then a little bit of honey on it. You can pre-mix that up if you want and mix it together. I just put it on and layer it. It's fine. Okay. Let's get started. Let's start with some of our vegetables. Cut the center core out just like this to pitch it. This one's been in the refrigerator for a little bit, so today is the day to use it up. I'm just going to knock off that bottom a little bit. And then I'm going to cut it up into slivers. Okay, there you go, the pasta's done. So we can go ahead and do the pasta next. So let's see how much of this I want, because it's just me and I'm making salad for me. I don't want too much, so we'll put that in there. Okay, pasta, here we go. It's hot. I'll switch pans now. I always keep two pans that are the same size when I'm doing pasta. Take the water out, put the pasta back in the hot pan, set that one aside. Now I have my peanut butter. Just take a scoop as much as you want. I don't want to use too much because peanut butter is strong. You could always add more if you wanted it later. It's just sizzling. I'm just mixing it in here. Now you might have to use a little bit of the water. Sometimes people will use a measuring cup. You can also just do this. Just a splash. You have to save that water. Don't dump it down the drain while you're cooking because you may need it. This is what it's looking like. Okay, there we go. We have pasta noodles. Oodles and oodles of pasta noodles. That's all set. Leave that sit there and steam. I need to throw the bread in the toaster. So let's go ahead and get that going. Any kind of Italian bread, whatever you like. Just get yourself 4 big pieces of it. Grab them, throw them in the toaster. Here we go. I've brought them out of the toaster. And I browned them up. I have the butter on them. While they're hot, I'm just going to put a little bit of honey on them. I don't want a lot. Just a little bit like that. And then if I want, I can set it on the burner that was hot. Smooth out the honey with my spoon. I already have the butter on it. There you go. Leave that. Now, I already put the glaze on the meat. Meat's in the oven. Let's put this away. Now, one of the things you're supposed to do is when you bring your vegetables and stuff home from the store, you're supposed to cut them up so that they're ready to go. But sometimes we get busy and we don't do it. So when you're cooking a meal and you're waiting for stuff to cook, that's a good time to cut up this stuff. So what I like to do is I just cut up to the way that I'm going to use it. And you know, peppers are a funny shape. It's hard to make them all uniform. But there we go, I have that all cut up. Then what I do is I have these little Tupperwares that I bought from the local discount store. And I just put them in there. Now my celery has been washed. Once again, this is the celery's at the end of the week, so it's time to either cut it up or throw it away. I have brand new celery that's already been delivered, so I need to use this stuff up. And what's nice about that is you don't have to worry about cutting off too much of it and throwing it away. Whatever's bad or doesn't look real good, just cut it off, pitch it, get rid of it. Now, I'm just going to cut down the center of that, and then just cut like this. And I know people like to hold the knife like this and show off. I can't do that. I was taught probably by my mother 60 years ago to hold a knife like this, and this is how I hold a knife. And I happen to think I do pretty well with it. Hold the knife however is comfortable for you. Try to keep either the toe or the heel down on your cutting board so that you don't raise it up high enough to cut yourself. See, I can't get my fingers under that because I'm not raising it up high enough. I'm keeping the toe down on the board. Now you can do probably that way too if you want. Sometimes people will do the seesaw method. So the seesaw method is where you just go back and forth on some fruits or vegetables, whatever you're cutting up, and if that seems to work well for you, you can do that as well. There's my celery. Throw some celery in my salad bowl. Too bad Barb isn't here. I'm going to have to eat this all by myself. It's a real shame I'm going to have to eat all this glazed pork. It's going to be really good. And it depends a lot on the balsamic that you use. I have different flavored balsamics. I also have some which is a chocolate. So, and that's a real good one. Now I just cut down the center, but I didn't go all the way to the root. I'm going to cut off this end here. Just kind of don't like the way that looks. Don't always get the best fruit. Now I'm going to go in here. Do the cut here again, nice and slow, guiding it. There you go. Just like how you cut up bok choy. Now, if you cut stuff like this, it'll be nice and fast. Sometimes the reason people don't want to cook is because it takes too long. Well, sometimes that's because of how they do it. There we go. Now we just need some salad dressing for that. And for salad dressing, it's going to be garlic mushroom. There we go. And you want twice as much oil as you do vinegar. Some seasoning. This is a garlic. I don't think I'm going to put that in there, but I have an Italian seasoning here. Here's some parsley. We'll put that in. I try not to always do the same thing. I try to, do things differently. Of course, there's some sea salt. Here's some pepper. And I believe here's chopped chives. Let's drop some chopped chives in here. You don't have to worry about how much you're putting into that. That's not a real strong spice. You got to watch salt and garlic powder or stuff like that. That's really strong. Hopefully everyone knows to wash your fruit real good. Got to make sure you get rid of any pesticide. And once your fruit starts to get a little older, your vegetables, you can just kind of peel off anything that doesn't look real perfect to you and get down to some good stuff. I've rinsed them really, really well, and that kind of freshens them up by washing anything off them. You know, they put a gas off that causes them to ripen, and that's what you feel on them. It's that chemical reaction of the gas that causes them to ripen. So here we go. I'm just going to cut off the tops that appear to be less than stellar. Here's a little piece here that I'm just not fond of, like that. And here's one right here. I'll just get rid of that. And I have new ones, so I'll be using these up in my recipes to use them up. And see, you just peel them like this. You can just peel with your fingernail here. And just pull off anything that's not perfect, or if you don't like it, just throw it away. You know, they'll make more of this. They keep planting and growing it if you keep eating it. Now, we use the tops, and we use the tops for garnish. So, we start out by holding them together, just like this, and just clearing the tops off. Then, we take and save that, just like that. Then I skip a little bit that was in the middle. That's kind of the part that's not the best. Some people use it and use it all. I don't particularly. And then we need to clean up our bottoms. So I'll just line up my matchsticks here, just like that. Put my hand on here. I don't like what I'm doing. I'm not afraid to stop and do this. You know, I'm not a chef. I'm a cook like you. I'm just cooking dinner here is all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything fancy. There's nothing French in my cooking other than maybe some French fries. And I don't even know if that's French. Then I just take my onions and just cut them like this. Nice and slow. Keep an eye on what you're doing. Try not to look away. You know, it's good to have the kids to teach them how to do stuff, but I would prefer to have the kids like on a separate island somewhere working, so where you are, you don't have to watch them. Kind of keep them away from the burner or anything where you really don't have to watch them. So here we go. Here's my onions, my green onions, so I'll put some of them in there, just like that. And then what I have left over here, we'll put that in the container for next time and pitch this. Now we're down to last minute or so here of the, about a minute left on the pork. So let's go ahead and clean up and I'll pull the pork out. Pork will be done in just a few seconds. So, of course, while I'm waiting, I go ahead and put the lids on things. Try to clean up a little bit. It's always nice when the food is done if you don't have a lot of cleanup to do. So I try to keep things clean and organized. Guess I grabbed the wrong lid for that. So that's okay. Get that in a little bit. Then for my salad, I'm going to use red wine vinegar. Just going to put my finger over the end and spritz. I like vinegar a lot, so it's hard for me to use too much. For my pasta, I have some lime juice, and I'm just going to put a cap of lime juice over my pasta just to freshen it up, and then rinse your cap so that it don't stick. Here's the bread. I've left it sitting on that hot burner, and that plate is hot. Keeps your bread warm but doesn't overcook it or dry it out. There's the pasta. Here's the salad. Now, pork is done. Here's my pork. It is 170 degrees. So I can go ahead and start dishing stuff up. This smells delicious. I wish you could smell this. You could put some pasta on the plate. Has a kind of an interesting color to it. Just like that. Then you could take your pork and put your pork on like that. Take some of your bread. Careful, because this plate really gets hot. When you leave that sitting on a burner that was hot, I'm telling you, it does get hot. So there we go on that. Let's just take this out of the way here. I touched it earlier and burnt my fingers. Decided I wasn't going to do it again. So here we have that. We have this. And then there's one more thing. Lastly, what we should do, some parsley. If you just sprinkle it a little bit, kind of high. Doesn't really taste much, but it looks kind of cool on the plate. So, that's my fast meal. Simple, easy pasta with peanut butter and a little bit of lemon or lime juice. You have rye bread that was toasted with butter and a little bit of honey on it. And then a pork roast, which was cooked. And then on the last 5 minutes, I put a little bit of balsamic vinegar and honey on top to give it a crust. And it smells delicious. Thanks for watching. Goodbye for now.